Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our WCTV Game of the Week. We are here tonight at Ravenwood High School in a contest where Life Christian Academy from Virginia comes into town to take on the Ravenwood Raptors. Paul Breece, Doug Capella on the call tonight. Thank you for joining us on our YouTube live stream. It's going to be quite a interesting sight here as Ravenwood is going to kick it off and Life Christian going to return.
One thing you notice right out of the bus is the size that Life Christian has brought to the field. Going through their roster here, 6'8", 300 pounds. Some going down the line, several college commitments already. Life Christian is well fed.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about it. They're going to be it's going to be the battle of the trenches, right? And on paper, Life Christian advantage.
The size advantage. They look the part coming off the bus. Quick out route. 14, that's going to be Deontay Hill on the catch. About a 4-yard gain on the out route. Even their fullback, Markel Dabney, has some size, 6'1", 200. It's going to be in a two-back set here. Handoff gets bounced outside. Number 7, A.J. Turner on the carry, and he is stopped for no gain.
Well, I think that's going to be a huge part of the Ravenwood defense, right? Put Life Christian in a situation where they can't just run downhill on you. Put them in a passing situation where you can at least get a chance to get off the field defensively. And there's not any chance, Doug, that Ravenwood's going to face a team of this size for the rest of the season.
So we're going to have third and about 3. Two-back set again. 2 wide outside. It's a deep out route, and it's incomplete. There was no possibility that that was going to be complete there, as it almost appeared as he was just throwing it away, but there's definitely a live route there going on.
So a huge victory, right, for the Ravenwood defense, 3 and out. Again, as we alluded to earlier, make Life Christian maybe put the ball in the air, and that may be your best bet of getting off the field defensively.
Well, and Ravenwood is a school that's battle-tested, having gone to 2 state championships. And so they may not have been intimidated by the size factor immediately. And so that win on defense right away has got to be a confidence booster, even if the size difference was not a factor coming off the bus.
Yeah, and I think Coach Hester definitely has probably preached, and said, guys, just like us, it's going to be okay. But the guys up front on the offensive line and the defensive line for the Raptors, when they walk out there, they probably are having some second thoughts.
Ravenwood lines up immediately. Life Christian almost not set, but the officials say hold on. So we have a quick button route here, caught underneath by number 7. That's going to be Blake Irvin on the catch.
So one thing you're going to find out here is from Coach Hester is his second stint here at Ravenwood is he's going to get a playoff fairly quickly. So you better be ready.
Well, from the time the ball was set till the snap, we're looking at 10 seconds, Coach. 10 seconds off the play clock there. So we're moving.
Yeah.
Not giving this defense a chance to get set or look at formations. Ravenwood has a man in motion here. Ooh, draws Life Christian offside. Smart there on Coach Hester. Third and about 6 inches is going to now be a 1st and 10 as he draws the Eagles offside. So he goes with tempo on the first 2 plays. Quick snap, and then being around the block a couple times, Coach Hester draws them off sides with a snap count and a hard count. Easy first down. Chris Parson rolls out. He's looking for room.
Wow.
That was an interesting play.
I mean, it just looked like it was bogged down, Doug. And Parson, the Florida State commit, bought him some time. Boom. First down, about a 12-yard play right there.
And I think the receiver was anticipating some kind of contact there as he catches it and then steps out of bounds gingerly on the play, and perhaps could have gotten more, but again, I think he was anticipating contact here. So Hester again quick on the ball. There's the pump. Taking a long shot downfield, a little bit underthrown.
Yeah, probably was going out of bounds, and I think that's why the no call was there.
Definitely a height disadvantage there. The defensive back comes in, Antonio Kottman, at 6'3", 190 pounds. And Ravenwood is coming in. It looks like Kason Edmondson on that play. And he is 6'1", 168. Again, a hard count. Life Christian does not bite this time. Chris Parson out of the shotgun, rolls, quick option play. He has some room to run. Hit hard at about the 35-yard line.
Well, great check down there by Parson and Coach Hester as he saw the blitz coming pre-snap, checked out of it. Parson knew he was going to take a hit right here, but a great call.
Carter Pace gets about what looked to be about 15 yards on the play. Inside pitch this time, lots of room, good block downfield. It looks to be Brendan Dickinson.
Well, the one thing Ravenwood and Coach Hester is doing are keeping that, you know, because Life Christian is coming up the field so hard defensively, he's keeping it off with the shuffle pass right there and, you know, the quick option.
And what we haven't seen this week that's been different from the last 2 weeks is definitely a variety of play calling. Life Christian has had to cover multiple different things on these plays, so that's going to be a hold right there. Number one for Life Christian was tackled. Caleb Spencer was tackled there at the point of contact. They're setting the edge, and just not a good job by the offensive line there.
Well, it's a point of contact, right? The play's coming right at you, and so the referee's got to call it.
Plenty of eyeballs there, right?
Yeah, if it was going the other way, maybe you could have got away with it, but because obviously we know, Doug, there's holding on every play.
Correct. And so what I was saying is last week, or in the week before, the offenses were somewhat predictable. But so far, Ravenwood's been in the shotgun. They've run outs, button hooks. They've run inside RPO, outside RPO. And Coach Hester's mixed it up significantly. And I think he's doing that to try to get rid of the aggression on the Life Christian defense.
Well, Parsons just kind of having to throw it out there. But, you know, he extends the plays, right? And that's kind of you know, something a lot of the teams in Williamson County don't have is a quarterback that can extend the plays. And Parsons,
Well, and he's definitely got wiggle. He can move around back there, and looks like he can at times make something out of nothing. But I think they got him to the outside, and the 12th man there, the sideline got him. And so, but to his credit, throws the ball away, doesn't lose yards on the play. Ravenwood out of the shotgun. There, Parson downfield. You're seeing the speed on the play, and he tiptoes out of bounds. And I don't know that he's breathing heavy yet, Coach.
Tremendous. I mean, listen, I even bit for the ball fake right there. I thought Pace had the ball, but give credit to number 5, Lee Millette, wide receiver blocking downfield, knowing that Parsons coming and giving him that extra yards. Now with critical 3rd and 8.
So there we go again.
Make it
3rd and 3.
Yeah.
Again, a hard count there. So Life Christian, with the size, is going to have the second factor there, which is discipline on defense.
So Coach Hester, I'm sure, saw something on tape, film, that was like, man, these guys are coming. You know, we're going to have to change the snap count up. And, man, it's paid off.
Well, and the Life Christian staff has got to be frustrated. Finally got him in a 3rd and long. And here now you got him down to 3rd and about 2. Got a man in motion here. Handoff underneath again, but Life Christian is there. and they're going to be about a yard short.
So this is going to be a huge call for Coach Hester.
And he is not afraid, Coach, to make a decision. He went for 2 in a state championship game to win, and he ended up losing that game.
That's right.
But he is not afraid to take chances. And so we'll see where he is here on this 4th and short. They're already lined up to go for it.
Let me tell you something. Look for Parsons to do something. He's going to keep the ball. I don't think he's handing it off to Pace. I mean, no offense to him, but, you know, I think Parsons may have a chance to, you know, make something happen.
Well, and I was about to say look for the hard count, and they went with it. And so here's this is going to be a first down.
How about that?
Some. So he's run out at about the 3 or 4 yard line.
Well, let me retract my statement. I think the defense was going to key on Parsons. How about that?
So Carter Pace takes it down about 6 yards to the 4 yard line. And so it's an interesting sight to see here. They are in a hurry, but not in a hurry. They're standing around, but they line up immediately to get the play call in. And then by the time they line up, they've only wasted about 10 seconds off the play clock. So we have a man in motion from left to right. Back to throw. Parsons is dancing around. Throws it to the outside, has a man, but that was going to be a tough one. He led him a little bit too far, had a receiver streaking across the back of the end zone, and he probably threw it in the only place it could be caught and not turned over.
Yeah, that was a difficult throw across the field. But again, we see the athleticism of Parsons to extend the play, give his receiver some time.
One thing I'm noticing, too, here is he keeps fresh bodies on the field. Lots of players coming in and out between plays. Here we go. This is going to be a touchdown. That's Carter Pace on the carry, and Carter Pace has had a workload here in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's not, you know, somebody we were, you know, looking at saying, okay, watch this guy. But good for Carter Pace to put the Raptors on the scoreboard early on.
Touchdown by Carter Pace, brought to you by Rapid Response Heating and Cooling.
Raptors are going to go for 2, or for a correction, for the extra point here for 1. Kick is up and good. So early on, Raptors 7, Eagles 0 on your WCTV Game of the Week.
Your score, Raptors 7.
Well, you know, if you're asking yourself, who is Life Christian Academy, right? Yeah. These guys are based out of the great state of Virginia. And pretty much, well, as we check the replay here, it's just basically the handoff. And pretty simple. But back to Life Christian Academy, right? From what we understand, they basically travel 10 weeks out of the year, I guess, and find teams do that with some. They're not playing any cupcakes for sure. They're going out and playing the best of the best.
Correct. And the young man up here doing the film work for Life Christian, we got to talking, and I was just asking him about enrollment, and it's not the typical size and athleticism you'd see out of a school that has about 250 kids.
That's right. So
they definitely are well fed and taken care of there. Number 2 on the return. Brings it out to about the 33-yard line.
Well, you can see, right, that Coach Hester's done his homework. They're not kicking deep and giving Life Christian any chance to return this.
Yeah.
So, hey, you know what? We'll let them start at the 35, but we're not letting them
We'll let them start at their 35.
Yeah, that's right.
So Life Christian's going to take over on the 35. Big line up front, as we've mentioned. Big fullback, 2-back set. It's going to be a handoff off the tackle. Number 7, A.J. Turner, gets about 2 yards on the carry.
Run by A.J. Turner. Tackle made by Andrew Judith.
Well, the thing about it is the defensive line for Ravenwood just has to hold their blocks and don't let any of those linemen get to the next level on the linebackers. And because if they do, it could be a bad situation.
Well, and Hester is going with a 3-4 up front. And so you're right, the line is not getting depth because in a 3-4, if your line's getting depth up front, that means that offensive line is getting to your secondary potentially. And if those big hosses down there are moving like that, getting to the second level, you're going to create some running space. And so Life Christian there gets about 8 on the play for a first down. Ball on the 48-yard line. 2-back set, Twins to the left. Drayshawn Taylor on the tackle. Again, a running back with some size. You know when it's running back defensive line on the roster, you're going to be a bigger young man, and he's 6'1", 260 pounds.
Well, I think Life Christian probably tried to size up Ravenwood that first drive, and they realized, you know what, they're not as bad as we think, and now they're just starting to build on that offensive line, right?
Taylor on the carry again. Looks to be close to a first down. Looks like it's going to be a first down with the official spot.
I mean,
Taken down by Jaden Moore.
I don't, I'm starting to watch some of the offensive line, the ball away from the ball, and they're getting 10 yards deep on some of their pushes, especially like number 50 we talked about earlier, Travion Green, 6'8", 330.
Well, and what I was noticing on the Ravenwood drive, it was a longer drive, and so some of the bigger fellas had their hands on their hips, and I was wondering if fatigue would come into play. And so now we're on the offensive side of the ball, and Life Christian looks like we just had a false start here as 3/4 of the line got to the second level, but unfortunately the ball wasn't snapped. So they're going to take it back about 5.
Still first down.
I think Life Christian is thinking maybe that one of the Ravenwood players kind of chirped a little hut, maybe drew him off sides because everyone kind of looked confused.
Well, so we have Twins right, 2 in the backfield, and so far on this drive, the receivers have just been window dressing. And again, they're going to ride Taylor on this drive, and the big fella carries him forward for about 6 yards.
Well, yeah, let's talk about fatigue, right? I mean, you look across the way at the sideline over there. What do we have, about 35 dressed maybe?
Not a big team in regards to numbers.
So you talked about a lot of two-way players. You've been on a bus. Don't know if you came in today, yesterday.
So we have a flag down here, and it looks like we also have a timeout.
All right, that's waved off.
Yeah, the official just waved it off. Play clock was running down.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, these guys are Life Christian, 3-1 on the season. Again, not playing any cupcakes out there, playing the best of the best, including like IMG Academy, who's a well-known football powerhouse. But, it's very kind of eerie to see them in that Alabama-esque type uniform down there with that size. You almost think, wait a minute.
Very close.
Is the Crimson Tide here?
I think Coach Saban would love to have a 6'8" left tackle or a 6'8" right tackle.
Yeah.
But again, I think Life Christian's conditioning will be tested here. If they're going to pound the ball like Ravenwood, and they're going to go down and on the field on each other like this in chunks. Sometimes it's who's winning in the fourth quarter in the conditioning battle that makes the difference. Life Christian comes out of the timeout, Coach, and another false start.
Well, I would call that a big-time wasted timeout, right? I don't know. You should have had everybody on the same page coming out of the huddle. And that was obviously not the case.
Well, and you have to wonder if Life Christian's looking at Coach Hester's hard count and saying, hey, we can do that.
Yeah.
And so they've come out, and unfortunately it's cost them 10 yards on this drive with 2 false start penalties. So we're looking at about 2nd and 14 from the Ravenwood 46. We got Twins right, 2 in the backfield. Motion. Handoff.
Oh, big hit.
He's met at the line of scrimmage by a few Ravenwood defenders. A.J. Turner brought down after a gain of about 1.
It may have been Drake Stallingworth on the outside end. Listen, we're going to apologize up front on the Ravenwood side because the black numbers with the gold trim from our distance, our vantage, pretty hard for us.
Difficult to make out numbers, but audience, we will do our best. Life Christian comes out too wide to the right. That play action. His quarterback's got some room to run and quickly is chased out of bounds, but it looks like they're going to be about 3 yards short. Depending on the spot, it's right about a long 3.
Ran out of bounds by Drake.
We'll call it 4, Coach.
Sure.
We'll call it 4.
Call it 4. But, man, that was a scary situation.
He had a lot of room to run. As the play opened up, you pointed to the far side of the field there, and there was 2 Ravenwood defenders on their horse hustling to get over there because it looked like he had a ways to go. But credit to the Ravenwood defense for closing down and using the sideline as an extra man. So Life Christian here is going to go to Hester's playbook and go for it on 4th and about 4. The ball snapped, instant pressure. He has room to run, and it's going to be close, but it looks like it's going to be short by about a half a yard. I think if he would have made his decision there a hair sooner, he would have made the first down. But he was indecisive, and it allowed the defense to regroup and close in on the play.
So, you know, basically it's our first look at Life Christian, right? We've never seen him. I've watched some film on YouTube, but and basically those are the highlights, right? The good stuff. From what I can gather so far, Life Christian in the passing game, you know, also to the benefit of the Ravenwood secondary, but looks like there's some issues on, you know, he's a one-dimensional guy. He's really not checking off, and if it breaks down, he's starting to run. Oh, my.
Big play blown up in the backfield there by number
55.
55, Isaiah Thompson in the backfield, almost taking the handoff there.
Yeah.
The big fella can move.
Yeah, well, they had a penalty on the play. They're going to decline that, obviously.
Well, they've lost about 9 because the big fella, like we said, was in the backfield almost to take the handoff. So Hester can't be happy about that play. 55, Isaiah Thompson coming in from the defensive end position. Got motion again. Back to pass, rolling out. Throws it up and out of bounds.
Yeah, very, very smart as well at Parsons.
Yeah, I think Parsons was just like, okay, this play is not working, so we're gonna get rid of it and try again. So,
and I believe Isaiah Thompson was providing the pressure again. So.
Ravenwood may take a hair longer on this one. On a 3rd and 19, Hester may want to flip a few pages to see what he can run here. So we're in a 3 wide, 1 back shotgun formation. Parsons rolls out. Screen to the left.
Uh-oh, face mask.
It's going to be either a horse collar or a face mask.
Either way, it's going to be first down.
Face mask, you got it there, Coach. Face mask on the play. And that is going to be a tough penalty for Life Christian.
A defensive drive killer for sure.
3rd and almost 20. They stop the play, and it's going to be a personal foul, which, as you said, is going to give them a first down.
And that is enough for Ravenwood. Brought to you by Nashville.
Well, it looked like the receiver went down awkwardly there, but he's right back up.
Yeah.
And so Hester back on the ball right away. The chains just got set.
Change of pace.
Parsons takes the snap. Handoff inside. And that looks
Yeah.
to be
Run by Kartua
Kartua Chapman for a gain of about 6 up the middle.
Yeah,
We got a lineman coming up
Uh-oh.
hurt here on the play for Ravenwood.
Well, let's talk about Chapman. He's going to change the pace back, right? As they say, he's going to provide a quick burst, that extra gear, and this has got to be a big blow for the Raptors to see one of the guys up front go down.
Yeah, when you're squaring off against a line that Life Christian can provide, you're definitely going to want your best 5 up front. And so if someone goes down and you're going to have to go to the bench, you hope you got someone there that's waiting in the wings to potentially be a starter.
So around Williamson County tonight, we got a lot of non-region matchups. Brentwood High is traveling to Henry County tonight. Franklin's taking on, I believe, Stewart's Creek.
Out of Rutherford County.
Correct. Centennial? I don't know.
We'll have those at the half.
It's like I'm trying to remember my own kid's name sometimes. Well, that's a good sign right here, 77.
So the player down was Trent Baldwin, junior, 6'2", 270.
Yep.
And so he is up and walking. It looked like he had a lower body injury, but he's up and he's going to come out for at least a play, maybe to some further examination on the sideline.
Second down.
So he's taking his helmet off. He may be out for a minute. Trainer comes over to look at him, or the team doctor there. So Hester has opened it up. We're in 5 wide, 2 left, 3 right. Parsons in shotgun. Motion. Oh, he had a guy running underneath there. Had him wide open and just misfired there.
Brings up third down.
I think that may have been the first time we've seen like a trip set on the far side. We've seen more of a spread look. Tell you what, there was a lot of options, and Parsons just missed.
Just missed. He was open. Overthrown by a hair. So Parsons again is going to be in shotgun, single back set. Inside option again, but taken down about 6 inches behind the line of scrimmage. So Hester, decision time again, but it looks like some of the lower numbers are coming out to the field, which means punt formation is coming out. Hester's not going to risk it on 4th and about 5 from his own 49-yard line.
Tyreek Tucker right there, the D lineman on the play. They tried that shuttle pass before, and that time just didn't pan out for the Raptors.
Well, and I think Ravenwood has to feel like, okay, we've played just about a quarter here. It's been back and forth, and so maybe we can look at field position as a battle that we might be able to win here. And so I'm going to guess that Hester, or the special teams coach, says, I need you to punt this directly out of bounds. At about the 4-yard line, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the field, by the way, right? I mean,
looking great, yeah.
The field turf is in at Ravenwood. After seeing so many games here, to see this is quite the sight. Another tremendous job by WCS to get our high schools
to the next level, I guess.
Next level, yeah. Hashtag next level. That's a big.
The commitment to all schools to have turf in, and as my wife would say, the colors pop, Coach. I won't ever say that, but my wife will.
That's right. Well,
so we're in punt. No hard count here. No pressure from Life Christian, and there it is. He angles it, fielded at the 2.
Oh, my.
And he's taken
How about
down
that?
For about a loss of 1 on the return. Coach, I went from bad to worse for Life Christian. It was a good angled punt to about the 3. And Life Christian, obviously athletic, fields it, but just had no room.
JT Smitherman on the stop down there. I don't know, host of Raptors. That's our next.
We're going to have to look at we have a, what was it, a convocation of Eagles.
That's right. So we'll see right here.
Fields it with one hand, makes initial headway, gets up to about the 4 or 5, and then makes the ill-fated decision to cut it back. And
well, I think that may have been Blake Urban. Again, hard to read the numbers from way up here, but maybe number 7, Blake Urban for the Raptors.
They have them pinned deep here, the Raptors do, and so we will see. Looks like we're going to have a timeout. Ravenwood. See what the defense is wanting to dial up here on a 1st and 10 from the Eagles about 3-yard line.
All of us up in the press box want to thank the Corner Pub for providing all the wonderful food.
Coach, I got to send a shout out tonight to Xander Layton. Xander Layton, golfer for Nolensville High School, made the district tournament.
All right.
I'd be remiss in my duties as a stepfather if I did not say congratulations to Xander Layton on making the district tournament.
I got you. This shout out was free of charge tonight. Xander Layton. Now, did he play golf at Mill Creek Middle?
He did.
Well, see, as the golf coach at a middle school, I've seen Xander. I know who he is.
Voted most valuable player if we're going to continue this line of questioning. So here we go, back to the game. Life Christian brings it out, and they go with the big fella again, and he is a load, Coach.
Man.
He had about 5 Raptors on his back, still moving the chains.
Stop made by J.P. Smitherman and Andrew Duda.
And he earned every bit of that 2.5 yards of real estate on that carry.
You know, I am sure that as the defensive line coach for the Raptors, whoever is the coach for the D-line, you almost want to say, hey, dive. I mean, don't go straight up and try to fight them off.
When you're bringing about 260 pounds from the backfield, you're not going to want to take them up top because you're not generally going to win that battle. But to the Raptor line, to their credit, they're showing good leverage here on the point of contact.
Yeah.
And so he's getting about 2.5, 3 yards a carry, but he's being met at about a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, if Life Christian does not try to get too fancy, right, you know, they should be able to run it 3 times and get 10 yards. I don't think we've seen them go for negative plays on the run game.
And so a quick first quarter in the books, and it feels like both teams have found some form of rhythm on offense and have had spurts of success moving down the field. Life Christian stalled with some penalties. Ravenwood, of course, the only touchdown. So at the end of the first quarter, Ravenwood 7, Life Christian 0. I don't anticipate, if I were a guessing man here, Paul, that the game is going to end 7-0. So we are going to have some more scoring, I would imagine, tonight, as both of these offenses look like they're just feeling each other out, seeing what they're going to do. And then Life Christian just had their back to the wall there in the end zone, so smartly they give it to the big guy in the backfield, and they get out of the shadow of their own end zone, and so they're going to be operating from about the 9-yard line with about 2 to go, 2 to 3 to go. And so maybe they go to the same playbook here.
I would think so. I mean, 23, the fullback for Life Christian, is basically another lineman that's going to get a running head start.
Well, and Drayshawn Taylor checks out of the game, and the smaller A.J. Turner checks in, but they do the same thing, and with some success as he brings it out to about the 20-yard line, off tackle there, and that was a significant hole there created by the Life Christian offensive line.
Hey, the referee threw his flag, and I'm not sure what's the call, and it's going to be on Life Christian, false start. And it may have been on the running back who was trying to get a head start here.
And I was just about to say that this is probably the loudest environment I've been in thus far calling games with you, and the band is right there to their back. And so surely that's got to play as a distraction. You have about 100 strong there behind the end zone.
It is still third.
Yeah, that is definitely going to make it difficult for the Eagles of Life Christian to hear the snap count.
Well, and we're down to almost 10 on the play clock, and they're still bringing players in. So we'll see if
And here's the bad news. Life Christian has already used 2 of their timeouts.
they hustle down to the ball. They are at 3, 2, 1. They got it right off in time. Turner is brought down at about the 18-yard line.
Run by A.J.
Well,
Turner.
And that's going to be a first
late
down.
flag.
Another flag
Doug.
here.
That's going to be unsportsmanlike on Life Christian.
Ravenwood pointing to Life Christian side of the field.
Yeah, I don't know. Travion Green, number 50, decided to block his guy basically to the fence over here. And then got up
Reminiscent of Blindside,
Yeah.
the movie.
and got up and told him, hey, I'm pretty good.
50, the
Travion Green, 6'8", 330.
6'8", 330. I was thinking of synonyms I could use to describe the massiveness of the player. And when we're up this high, Coach, a lot of these players, they look fairly similar in size, but
No.
the big fella definitely looks every bit of 6'8".
First and 10, Eagles.
So we got 1st and 10. They got enough to gain on the play, but they are moved back to their own 9. Out of the shotgun, they give it to the big fella again. And so Drayshawn Taylor is met in the backfield by 4 Raptors on the play. And he gets about, we'll call it a yard. That's going to hurt his 3.1 yard per carry average.
And Sam Christian.
We'll see that,
It is
they got the first down, then the penalty, so 2nd and 9. If some people are at home going, wait a minute, I thought it was 3rd down.
Right, yeah, they got the yardage to gain on 3rd down, but then the penalty moves them back.
Well, this may be the first time have you seen a shotgun?
Shotgun with a 2-back set. Turner goes in motion. Our first completion of the night for the Eagles. Number 12, Shannon Henry on the catch. Shannon Henry again on the bigger side, 6'3", 210 pounds. That's about an ideal size for a wide receiver. So Coach Hester's got to be thinking, wait a minute. You guys are supposed to be running the ball here every play. So Isaiah French with a nice completion on the play. Again, a 2-back set. This time it goes to number 7, A.J. Turner, who gets about 7 on the play. We'll call it about 6.5. Number 7 there, Turner, Coach, looks like if he gets out into the open field, he's going to be a tough one to catch.
24, Isaac Rollins for the Raptors got to meet Turner right there, the cornerback. Had to come up and make the play. The interesting thing is if you're on the D-line for the Raptors, you're thinking, guy blocking me, he tells his grandkids, I played a guy, he was in the NFL. How'd you do against him? The tape's gone. I don't know.
So the Eagles have found something they like here in the 2-back set and shotgun. So as you said, the big fella rumbles down the yard. We got some extra stuff after the play here. But Drayshawn Taylor, the big guy, rumbles forward for a 1st down.
I don't know if you caught that, but Taylor, when he got tackled, he was laying on top of the defender, spun, and got the extra yardage for the 1st down. So
smart play. Running backs have that ability to say, wait a minute, my knee wasn't down.
That's right.
I'm going to keep running. So we have 1st and 10 from what looks to be the Eagles' 41-yard line. Again, we're in a 2-back set shotgun, 3 wide. French hands it off. A.J. Turner on the carry for about 5. So splits the difference there on 1st down.
It is.
So the
second
Eagles
down.
have come from the shadow of their own end zone here on what looked to be a tragic punt, and they are on the move.
I mean, you said it best. I mean, they were on their own 2-yard line. I mean, potentially a 98-yard drive. You rarely see that in high school.
No, there's usually a penalty or a turnover in high school that'll kill a drive that long. So again, we go to a 2-back set. However, a bit of a different formation. They go with a fullback on that play.
Stopped by Andrew Judas and Nathan Green.
Another first down here. So now we are on the Raptors' 49-yard line.
Eagles.
50 checks in for Ravenwood. That's Carter Miller, who also plays on the offensive line. I think they're trying to get some weight there up front. Oh, that looked to be what could have been a hold on the fullback there.
Run by A.J. Turner.
We have a gain of about,
Tackle made by Lee Millett.
depending on the spot here, looks to be about 13 yards. The home crowd here is starting to get into the drive here, hoping that the Ravenwood defense will respond. The Eagles are going to go 3 wide. Fullback again in the play. Motion right to left. Turner gets it, but is stopped for no gain.
Tremendous job right there. They actually went with the counter play right there on the run, and
went away from the fullback.
That's right, which was unusual.
And so Life Christian opening up the playbook a little bit on this drive. We got 2nd and 10.
Second down.
Turner and Dabney in the backfield. It's a pass. Quarterback's looking for receivers downfield. Has it, and it's a touchdown. Life Christian.
Pass complete.
So Isaiah French
Hill for a touchdown.
looked like he was going to take off and run. Draws the safety and the linebacker inside, and the receiver breaks free down the sideline for a touchdown.
Well, I'm sure we'll catch a replay, but a tremendous job by Isaiah French to extend the play and directing traffic. We'll take a look after this extra point attempt, which looks like a 2. And, you know, you're down at the 2. Why not? You're gaining 3 yards a carry. So, Life Christian for 2, and he's going to lean in for the 2.
2-point conversion.
And now Life Christian leads 8-7.
Your score, Ravenwood 7, Eagles 8.
So we'll see the replay right here. Take a look at the quarterback. French right here at the top of your screen. He looks, he checks. Great coverage by the secondary. And then he points to the receiver, says, hey, take off, I got you. A little slip, but a great recovery. And
Coverage not bad.
No, not bad at all.
Not bad there.
And touchdown, Deontay Hill, the 6'1 senior. And Lifeway Christian on a 98-yard drive. I don't know if it's officially in the books, 98, but from way deep.
Sometimes athleticism just wins, right? The play looked a little bit broken there. French has to move around in the pocket. The coverage is good, but then the defensive back just slips, as does the receiver, but breaks open. French makes a good pass. Touchdown, Life Christian.
And look at the Eagles kickoff man.
Fullback, linebacker, and kicker. He is a renaissance man.
Ooh.
Bouncing outside, Raptors had something working there for a minute. but run out of bounds at the 35-yard line on the return. Ravenwood will take over. 1st and 10 on actually correction about the 37.5-yard line.
Stop in every day between 2 and 5 p.m. for happy hour. You get half off all drinks and slushes.
So again, both sides have moved the ball tonight. Penalties and a few mishaps have ended drives. And here we are. Parsons takes the snap, looking, has a man open, hit almost immediately. Forward progress is going to give him about 2.5.
Catch made by Lee Millette.
Lee Millette, you said it, hit immediately. I mean, barely brought it in. But it is positive yardage. And I'm sure that Coach Hester would love to get some points on heading into halftime.
Got about 6 minutes left to go in the second before that halftime. Parsons takes the snap, rolls out to his left, looking, throwing across the body to the other side of the field. Number 6, Kason Edmondson is there. Coach, that was a 50-yard pass.
Wow.
Because he threw it across the entire length of the field.
Wow. You know,
50-yard pass, 11-yard gain.
We talk about our WCTV play of the game. It's normally a touchdown or a turnover or something, and, man, that was pretty impressive by Parsons.
Parson out of the shotgun. Twins left, single wide right, single back. It's a handoff, has some space.
Tremendous
and he
run.
Rumbles down. That's going to be Carter Pace.
Tremendous run by Pace. You know what he does well? He follows his blockers.
That was very Le'Veon Bell-esque there. He had his hand on the lineman in front of him, waiting for forward progress. And Le'Veon Bell circa 2016, Coach. Not the
Le'Veon Bell, get him on your fantasy team because he's starting.
Again, we got the Ravens are hurting. So, again, he's on the carry. Has some room there. That time he said, blockers, I got this. Ran out in front of his blockers.
Checking the replay here. We got two guys pulling right there. The big fellas up front creating havoc. And, man, get to the secondary. Makes a Ravenwood Raptor running back dream.
Carter Pace here setting his pace there. On the first run, he follows his block. Second time, he gets out ahead of his block and gets a good gain on the play.
Oh, man. Tell you what, Parsons, I don't know if you saw it, Doug, but they ran the exact same kind of formation with the two pulling backside offensive linemen. And, man, if Parsons could have hit him in stride.
Millette drops a pass that should have been caught there. Two defenders closing in. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but it hit his hands, and as the saying goes, if it hits your hands, you should catch it. Yeah. Two guys in motion here. Parsons again with a hard count. This is becoming a theme here.
It is. Take it easy, 5.
Encroachment on the Eagles.
Well, the one thing, our first look at Parsons, the quarterback for Ravenwood, the kid he can spin it, right? I mean, he's got some zip on it.
He can spin it, and he hasn't looked rattled. Even when there's been immediate pressure, he's calm, sets his feet. And, Coach, when he had to set his feet on that 50-yard across the field throw he made. Impressive arm strength from the young man. Handoff again to Pace, who's going to have another first down.
Handoff to Carter Pace.
Pace is not the running back here that we expected to see carry the load tonight, but he is definitely rumbling forward for some good gains. Ravenwood's going to take over 1st and 10 on the 15. Motion again. Pace again gets the handoff, but is swallowed by number 51, Tyreek Tucker. Tucker, I think said, enough of this.
Yeah.
Enough of this. The big fella's anchoring what looks to be the middle of the line there, or the outside. And if you're playing the left end spot in a 3-4 and you make a tackle on the right side of the line, you have done some shift work there. Motion again from Ravenwood, right to left.
Oh, man.
Parsons is going to run the inside shovel again. That's, I believe, the third time they've run the shovel, and they've had mixed success with it. They've gotten positive yards each time, but it is going to bring up a third and what looks to be 3. Now,
Brendan Dickinson right there. You know, you basically have 2 options off that play, right? You can option it out, or you can option it into the inside player right there. Oh, my, and they did it again. What I'm trying to figure out, Doug, is how does that draw you off sides, that clap? I mean, I don't know. Is there a cadence, obviously, that Parsons is using as well?
But, you know, starting at about 6 years old, they teach linemen to watch the ball.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's basic football 101, but, you know, when it's short yards to gain and you're backed up against your end zone here, the defense can get a little aggressive because they're going to want to make a play. They're going to get it in the backfield. Here we have a timeout.
It's number 3.
Life Christian has used all of their timeouts here. And so I was just about to say, I don't want to prognosticate here for Hester, but if he doesn't get it, does he go for the field goal to take the lead?
Absolutely.
But that has become a moot point with what is a second offsides penalty on Life Christian. And I can imagine there will be a number of things discussed in the locker room for Life Christian, but maybe at the top of the list might be watching the football on short yards to gain.
Well, if you're a Williamson County fan, you want to know some scores. Summit High School is playing at Blackman, and Summit is ahead 14-0, as Destin Wade is pretty much doing everything. Well, check that. Just updated 4 minutes ago. 21-7, Summit. And Summit, with their first look right into 6A football.
Doing well.
Yep. Stewart's Creek leads Franklin High School 13-7.
That is their first touchdown of the year, I believe.
Second. They scored last week against
we
Ravenwood.
Correction, second touchdown. Ravenwood, here we go, back in action. First down, 4 yards to go. Handoff to Pace. Takes it up and takes it in for the touchdown.
That is tremendous.
That is paying Pace back for the hard work, getting Ravenwood down the field. And that may have been a timeout to allow the offense to get their wind in them.
Yeah.
Say, all right, Pace, here you go, take it in the end zone. So, because it was a simple play, I don't think Hester had to dig deep for that play. Simple run off tackle there, or off guard. Ravenwood going for the point after. It is up, and it is good. So at the 3.5-minute mark in your second quarter, Ravenwood leads Life Christian with a score 14-8.
Yeah,
kind of surprised there that Hester doesn't opt to go for 2, because now it's less than, I would say, a 1-score game.
Pretty simple play here. Parsons straight handoff to Pace. If my calculations are correct, that's his second touchdown of the night, right?
Correct.
And now here's the big question. Did Ravenwood leave too much time on the clock?
Well, that's a great question, because both sides have shown that they have kids that can move. And so with 3.5 minutes, it's kind of like the game that was on last night. When you give number 12 a minute and a half down by 1, there's a good chance he's going to get it down the field. And so will Life Christian have that same magic to be able to come down in 3.5 minutes and put some points on the board? So I can't read lips, but I'm guessing the special teams coach said, do not kick it deep.
I'm thinking that as well.
So here we have the kickoff. And again, it's what I would call a pooch kick. Fielded at about the 35. And brought down number 9. That's going to be Gene Townsell with a return of about 6 on the play. But good field position.
Yeah. Well, they've previously been starting about after each kickoff about the 35. Now they're up to the 40.
Yeah, if you're gonna give them that field position, you might as well kick it out of bounds.
Well, and here's another question: does Ravenwood, if they were back on the grass surface, do they actually squib it? Right? I mean, obviously you're going to get a little more juice on the ball here on the turf.
Well, I'm thinking that they don't want the ball in the air, right? They don't want a clean
catch and run
on the right. And so they're making them bend down, pick it up, and that way we can get some bodies downfield. And so Life Christian looks like delay of game.
Yes, off the kickoff. I'm shocked. Now, if my numbers are correct, that may be the 11th penalty, and that's still in the first half.
Well, and Ravenwood is going to be disciplined, right? They're not going to make the mental mistakes. Hester will have them well coached. And Life Christian, aside from the penalties, is in the game. And you have to wonder if the offsides and the small mental mistakes are going to cost them when we get closer to the fourth quarter. And so Life Christian's open up in the set that got them down the field, which is 3 wide, 2 back. They got the fullback in the backfield. Handoff to number 7, bounces off one of his own offensive linemen, found some room, and gets the 5 yards back from the penalty and then some.
You know, I guess maybe that's why Life Christian doesn't really fret about the penalties too much. I mean,
yeah, A.J. Turner did well there. He ran into looked like his right tackle right off the snap. Quick to move downfield, though, and showed his wiggle and gets down, and we got second and about 2. Life Christian again with 2 backs to either side of the quarterback. 7 goes in motion, ball's on the ground, and takes a loss on the play and goes down awkwardly. Number 6 does Isaiah French, but he pops back up, limping a little bit. We hope he's okay.
Brings up third.
Tremendous job by Andrew Dudas on the tackle for loss.
French may be hurt here, Coach.
He is. In fact, he has gone off. Remember, Life Christian, 0 timeouts. So our new quarterback is
Shane Hoover is the new quarterback that comes in. Quarterback / tight end. Hoover goes 6'2", 215, not a bad size for a quarterback. In shotgun, knows the offense. Reads downfield, makes a good throw, but it's intercepted at the 45 by number 5, Lee Mollett.
Wait a minute. We had a late fumble possibly, but.
Well, it looks like the ground may have caused it there. I don't know that that's going to. Nope. That's going to go to Ravenwood. The ball popped out as he hit the ground. So what a turn of events we have here.
Wow.
Looked like a good throw. Misread the deep, looked like safety there. Lee Mollett comes up and steps in front of the receiver. But I will tell you, Shane Hoover looked like he had command of the offense.
Yep.
He checked off the right side, went to his second receiver, made a good throw. It just happened to be to the wrong team.
Well, I mean, it's just the way this is all playing out, right? I mean, the starting quarterback for Life Christian just goes out, and the first play, you got to think to yourself, let's run the ball.
Maybe we should run the ball.
Yeah,
here, right?
Let's run the ball. No, hey, we're going to let our man Shane Hoover, 6'2", 215, just sling it around. You're the number 2. That turned out to be a disaster for the Eagles.
So we went from a promising drive for Life Christian to what could be trouble as French went down, the starting quarterback. Hoover comes in, throws an interception, and then Ravenwood
was for blocking below the weight.
Takes over at what would have been the Eagles' 45, but we had a illegal block, and so the ball's going to be moved back to the Ravenwood 45. About a minute and 46 left to go. Ravenwood still with 2 timeouts. Life Christian has used all of theirs. The officials blow the play dead.
We just talked. I mean, you literally talked about Ravenwood being disciplined. They had great field position. They had a block in the back on the interception. Took them back 15. Now a 5-yard penalty for a false start. But, man, would Coach Hester love to add some points with a minute 45 until halftime.
Well, and as my wife would say, I probably spoke that into existence, right?
Yeah.
I just, as you say, tell them that they're a disciplined football team, and they make 2 plays that show lack of discipline. So here we are. Ravenwood lines up, trips to the left, single wide to the right. Parsons back to throw, tucks it. He's going to run, makes a move at the 50, and is down at about the.
Now here's a problem.
Helmet's off.
Yeah, the helmet's off. Now is he going to have to come back out?
Was it ripped off or did he throw it off, right? And I think there may be a difference there.
Well, we're going to have a conversation for sure.
In any regard, Parson makes a good move and comes up fired up. And I don't know if there was some after-the-play business going on there or what.
We're going to take a look.
A crowd of players there. So on the replay, Parsons
plenty of
tucks
room.
it.
Makes one miss.
Move, yeah.
And maybe a late hit, which normally if the quarterback gives himself up, you're really not supposed to make it.
Well, I think
contact.
his helmet got caught on somebody, but he's giving himself up, right? He's sliding, and the defender comes in and still makes a hit. And I think that was the reason that he came up and was a little animated, if we might say, on the play after the play there.
So Caleb Spencer, the defensive back, off the tackle. Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out. Was it hooked, right? Was it hooked on a piece of equipment? From,
well, it didn't look like he had motioned to take it off on the replay, so it looks like it may have gotten caught on something and came off. But in any regard, he is out for the play. And it looks like number 9, Brendan Dickinson, is in at the quarterback spot, at least for now. There are 4 people standing in the backfield, including the left tackle, and I don't think he will line up at quarterback. So he's back in his spot. It is Dickinson, takes the snap.
Oh, my.
Probably should have handed that one off.
Yeah.
So on the RPO there, you're supposed to read what the line's doing.
But they were uphill, so they were coming before on the snap even. That would have been a good time to change the cadence.
Yeah. So Parsons back in at quarterback, helmet on, which is a good thing. 20 goes in motion to his left, looking downfield, being chased by a number of linemen there, and just throws it down into the turf, and that's going to bring up 4th down. Had a receiver in there, but I don't know that he was hoping to complete it. Life Christian, good defense there, as 3 linemen were chasing him. I don't know that they had a chance to catch him. They were large linemen, but 3 in the backfield, and he throws to a receiver that was double covered, and it bounces about 3 yards in front of him. But again, you stopped Life Christian on what was going to be a promising drive with about 3.5 minutes to go, and now you've burned almost 2.5 minutes off the clock. Less than a minute to go. Punt goes directly out of bounds this time. And so Life Christian will have about 47 seconds to go, which you never know, Coach. You never know when you have team speed. Time is not necessarily a factor. But the only big play that we've seen tonight was the somewhat of a broken play where French scrambles out and hits the receiver after the defensive back falls down. And the receiver recovers and makes a good catch for a touchdown. And so let's see. Life Christian has a single back. It's the same quarterback that came in, so French might be hurt.
Oh, that is a huge blow. You know what? He's going to sling it again.
So he takes off running here, and with no timeouts, that's not going to help him. He may want him to throw that one away. So in any regard, he gets a good gain. He gets 9, but he has 30 seconds to work with no timeouts.
This will probably be the last play. You know, I don't know if you picked up on it, but the quarterbacks for Life Christian are having to go all the way to the sideline to get a play call in.
So Shane Hoover, the new quarterback in, looks to his left, throws it deep. This one is going to be a baseball play, center field there. And so Ravenwood had 4 defenders in the area, and actually not a good thing that time because they break up their own interception. And so we have 10 seconds remaining in the second quarter here. Ravenwood leading 14-8. But 16, Shane Hoover has arm strength, Coach.
We just saw it.
Threw it about 35, 40 yards in the air.
With a tight spiral.
Tight, good throw. has all the mechanics of what looks to be a good quarterback. Looks to his left. Has pressure from behind.
This would be his weakness right there, probably.
Well, and that's just not playing, right? He just burned 6 seconds up off the clock and ran out of bounds.
You know, Ravenwood got an advantage now. If Hoover has to run outside of the pocket, they have the ability to catch it. They don't have to try to contain. They can go after him.
He is not as fast as it appears as French. And so Life Christian is going to go for it here. It's going to be the same as a punt, you would think. 4th and about 3 with 4 seconds to go in the half. Hoover lined up in shotgun, has 2 wide receivers on either side, looks to his left. He's going to scramble. Good coverage on the play, just throws it up. Ball's going to bounce dead at about the 25, and that is where we will end the half. Ravenwood again 14, Life Christian 8. In a first half that has been marked by some mental errors on Life Christian, some athletic plays, and some sound football all around.
So stay tuned. 14-8, Ravenwood Raptors. Paul Breece and Doug Capella back for second half action right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for second half action here tonight of our WCTV Game of the Week. Paul Breece and Doug Capella here at Ravenwood High School as Life Christian Academy from Virginia travels down here to Williamson County to take on the Ravenwood Raptors, and the Raptors giving them a 14-8 edge here. Doug, second half.
So the storyline here has got to be whether or not Life Christian has their mobile quarterback in the lineup as they take the field on defense here. We'll have to see if their quarterback, who went out with an injury, will be able to be a go for the second half, because that is a huge loss if they are without their quarterback going into the second half.
Absolutely. But if we're talking about offense for Ravenwood, tremendous job by Coach Hester in keeping the Eagles of Life Christian off balance with some different cadence counts on the snap, some just runs up the middle to challenge those offensive linemen against those big defensive linemen for Life Christian.
So Ravenwood, a little bit more of the same. They send a man in motion, but then the handoff goes between the guard and the center, it looks there. But Ravenwood is also not making it easy on these two commentators, because Hester is keeping fresh bodies out there, rotations of receivers coming out. Their first half MVP, Carter Pace, not on the field right now. So Parson rolls out, decides to keep it, has some room. And there's, as we go back to the old classic, some laundry on the field here, and it's in the area of probably holding or an illegal block.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely holding, I think.
Holding is the call. So that's going to back up the Raptors 10.
I mean, we're going to see right here, Parsons just going to keep it. We'll see down here at the bottom of your screen. And I'm not sure where the holding was.
Well, the only person in the vicinity was Lee Millette, the wide receiver, and it looked like he was doing a decent job, so it's hard to know what the official sees, but we are up here and they are down there. Quick inside route to number 9, Brendan Dickinson.
Short pass, and makes it a manageable 3rd down and 3.
So we have 3rd and 3 from the Raptors' 30-yard line. Backfield motions to the quarterback side here.
And
different quarter, same story, Coach, as we have a offsides call on Life Christian, and I'm sure that the players may have heard something about that in the locker room during halftime. But
yeah, if you're just joining us, the Raptors basically had that down to a science. They basically drew the Eagles offsides on defense multiple times in the first half.
So that's a painful 3rd down conversion, easily converted to first with the offsides. Quick pass slant on the inside, dropped by the Ravenwood receiver. Looked to be number 6. It's going to be Edmondson.
Well, if you look across the way, Doug, you'll see the quarterback, Isaiah French for Life Christian, just came off the cart and was not putting any pressure on the weight. So it looks like the quarterback, Hoover, for Life Christian, is going to take it home here. Oh, my.
Parsons just faked out the entire. Oh.
Yes, sir, Cole. Yes, sir.
Number 5, big hit on the play. There's going to be a flag on the field. Antonio Cotman makes a big hit on the receiver, jarring the ball loose.
That's football. Play ball.
So we hope the young man French from Life Christian is okay. You always want to wish a speedy return on those players. The officials are down discussing the penalty.
So a big call right there. Going to give the Raptors a easy first down.
So it's going to be a personal foul. And over the years, that penalty has kind of changed a little bit. A few years ago, that probably would have been considered a clean hit. But we are focusing on player safety as the game of football moves forward. And so the officials are going to look for those things, especially when it's a defenseless receiver.
And I think you hit the nail on the head, defenseless. Didn't really have time to come, catch, and turn.
So We are about a minute and a half in, and there has been 3 penalties on Life Christian so far. 2 offsides and a unsportsmanlike, which when you add that up, that's 25 yards of penalties.
Free yardage.
And so Ravenwood will say thank you to that, and they'll line up on the 45 of the Eagles. Parsons back, throwing, has a man open. This is going to be
look at
a
that.
touchdown. Raptors number, it looks to be number 11, Nick Rom.
Touchdown.
Parsons and Rom on the connection made it look easy there.
Absolutely. 55 yards.
And so after the penalty, Hester decides to dial up the inside seam route there and hits pay dirt for what was about a 45-yard touchdown, but probably about a 17-yard pass.
Ooh.
Kick is up and good, and that extends the Raptor lead 21-8.
Well,
as we just started the third quarter here tonight.
here, I guarantee you, Lance and the boys in the truck, I'm ready for the replay, Lance. Are we going to be able to get it? Because that was a tremendous throw by Parsons. I mean, the only spot that the receiver could reel that in.
So Parsons was off target early on in the game with a couple of his throws, but after that 50-yard sideline-to-sideline toss, he has not, I don't believe, well, he missed one throw, but it was short and it was, I think, to just get rid of the ball, but he has been on target to his receivers.
Well, and credit the cadence count right there. When you draw him off sides twice, it slows the rush down, and that time Parsons had time to get rid of the ball and get the receiver down the field and create space to get the ball in to the spot that he needed to.
So the first half MVP, Carter Pace, checks in on special teams. Here's the kickoff from the 40. I'm guessing this is going to be some form of a squib, and it is. Much better squib this time, gets it downfield. Lifeway has room to run. And they might as well just mark the ball at about the 40 each time. We could save some time here if they would just go ahead and kick it out of bounds and mark the ball down.
35, right.
And that may be the tactic going forward, because he actually brought that out to the 43, and that had some mojo behind it, and it could have been trouble for the Raptors, who made the tackle. And so Hoover, in quarterback, comes in for the injured French. Hoover's flanked by 2 running back, well, fullback and a tailback, 3 wide, handoff up the middle to the deep back, and he gets about, we'll call it 7.5.
And it's a very simple offensive calls for Life Christian. you got to just run it behind that offensive line, and all these good things are going to happen. I mean,
well, you'd have to think if Life Christian could minimize some of the mental errors, this game would probably be much closer, if not a different story altogether. Same formation, 2 outright, receiver to the left on the bottom, 2 back set led by a fullback. Hoover takes a snap, fakes the handoff, and number 24 for Ravenwood makes immediate contact there. Isaac Rollins. Solid coverage there. And the difference on that play as opposed to the other one is the receiver was not defenseless, and the hit was up top in the shoulder region. So here we go. We have 3rd and short. Hoover again in the back, hands off to 7, which is going to be the reliable A.J. Turner, the change of pace back for Drayshawn Taylor, the big fella. Turner will have the first down. And you'd have to think if they can stick to this without a penalty or a loss of yardage, they have moved the ball fairly well against the Raven defense, but yet only have 8 points.
Well, you know, what's interesting to see is French was the guy that kind of took the ball under center, and Hoover, the less mobile quarterback, has been taking it out of shotgun.
So just as I say, if they cannot get a loss on the play, there's pretty close. He's met at the line of scrimmage and gets about a yard on the play. So we're going to have 2nd and 9. Now Hoover has the arm strength. He can throw the ball. As we said in the first half, he has all the mechanics of what looks to be a good quarterback, but does have the interception on his resume. Hoover again in the shotgun, Turner in the backfield, 2 wide receivers to the right side, 1 to the left, fullback in the backfield. Hoover looks like he might be changing the play up front. Takes the snap, hands off to Turner. Turner almost had some daylight there, Coach.
He is very close to breaking that one. I mean, got to the next level.
And we were discussing at halftime that Turner looks like if he finds daylight, he will run to it. He is a very fast young man, but just gets tackled by the shoestrings there to save what could have been some trouble for the Raptors defense. So here we have 3rd and short, important down for the Eagles. Hoover in shotgun.
And there we go. The penalty bug. Got him again.
Flag on the field. False start by the Eagles.
So we have a false start.
3rd and 1, which was going to be, I mean, a lean forward. Now 3rd and 6.
So now we're going to have, well, looks closer to 7 here. Same formation. 2 receivers on the bottom, 1 on the top. Hoover in shotgun. Takes a snap, hands off to Turner. We have another flag.
And they got
You're going to have a face mask.
Yeah.
So a rare penalty on the Raptors here, which is the line of penalties has been completely tilted towards the Eagles this evening. We do have a penalty now on the Raptors, which is going to be a face mask, and that is going to help the Eagles significantly on this drive. So you have to think here, is Life Christian going to take a shot at some point to the end zone with Hoover, because he has the arm strength, and they've run every play up to this point. They've run the football. So you have Drayshawn Taylor in the backfield, the big guy. You'd have to think he's going to get it and go up the field, but there's the fake and there's the shot. It's a good pass, good coverage, good throw, incomplete pass on the play. And I had a feeling there that.
Well, here's the problem. They went against the best defensive back of the Ravenwood Raptors, Miles Pollard, who is, I believe, a Michigan commitment. I mean, but.
Well, and I will say it was a good throw, and it was there. It could have been caught, and as we had discussed earlier, Hoover can make the throws, and I was curious to see if Life Christian was going to take a shot there, which they did.
Yeah, and normally you do when you get a first down via penalty.
So here's the big fella, Drayshawn Taylor, nimble on his feet as he makes a spin, but gets about 4 on the play. So you're going to have 3rd and a long 6.
It is 3rd.
You'd have to wonder what Life Christian's going to go with here. They've, for the most part, run it for the majority of the game, 3 and 4 yards a carry. Have the ability to throw deep. This is an important play for Life Christian. Throws out to the slot. 14 on the catch. That's going to be Deontay Hill. And that is going to be an Eagle first down. And so if Life Christian wants to stay within reach of this football game, this drive becomes very critical as we're approaching the halfway point in the 3rd quarter, with the Raptors ahead 21-8.
Well, you know, you talked about your first game here at Ravenwood. The student section down there has always been rowdy in our times that we've shown up on our WCTV Game of the Week, and they have definitely made some noise against really, you know, the visiting bleachers over there empty-handed. And
there we have a false start. Big number 50, Trayvon Green, all 6'8" and 330, is not going to hide from the officials on a false start. Life Christian also had a bit of hamburger there in the backfield as they have Dabney, the fullback, and Drayshawn Taylor. Drayshawn Taylor goes 260 pounds. Dabney, 200 pounds. Taylor gets the handoff. Running still.
Wow.
And that is a tough run for about 14 yards. Bounced off a number of tackles. And as I commented earlier, very nimble on his feet for being what looks to be every bit of the 260 pounds. This is one of the first times that
we're going to check it out right here. I mean, stopped immediately. And the big fella
gets a jab step in there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. And it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 guys down.
So Hoover, in his first extensive drive of the second half, marches him downfield. And this time you have Christopher Johnson on the offensive line again in the Raptors secondary, which is generally a good thing, but you need to wait for the ball.
Yeah, it's almost starting to become comical, right? The penalties adding up. I mean, it's just I lost count is basically what happened.
Well, and it's almost becoming expected. It's like 1 out of every 3 plays is going to be a false start. So Hoover settles the offense down, goes back to pass. He's going to throw a deep out fade route, and it's going to be incomplete. Again, blanketed by the Raptor secondary. And where I was going, Coach, is this is really the first sustained drive that Life Christian has had, and the first time, aside from the broken long play, where the Ravens have had to play defense for an extended period. And they're backed up. It's about second and what looks to be 11 and a half. No first down can be made here due to the penalty. So it's all or nothing here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Life Christian probably doesn't have a kicker. They are going to.
We've seen the young man kick off, so.
So there's Turner gets good yardage there, but it's going to be third
and goal.
Third and goal from about the 5-yard line. The crowd has erupted with a little bit of John Denver.
Oh.
Turner stopped.
How about that?
Run again by Turner.
He goes up the middle, makes 3 quick yards, and then is stopped immediately. Fourth and short. A field goal here would put him down by 10.
Well, they're not kicking it.
I don't know that, as I made the joke earlier, I don't know that they brought a kicker on the bus. So they are going to go for it.
I think it's going to the big fella, number 8.
That is where the smart play might go. So Hoover checks out. New quarterback checks in, direct snap. The officials blow it dead. Timeout, Ravenwood. Hester said, whoa, wait a minute. Hoover is not back there. And so calls a quick timeout, which is a good thing because it looked like the quarterback that checked in, number 19, Dorian Fleming, checked into the game and looked to have what appeared to be an Eagle touchdown until the play was blown dead.
You know something was awry.
A little trickeration, as I said last week.
But that was actually, for Life Christian, probably the right move.
Well, you had the big fella check in. Drayshawn Taylor was in the backfield, and so the defense is probably thinking, yep, I'm going to key on that guy because he's going to get the ball here. He falls over and gets 3 yards.
Right.
And I don't know that he's been stopped for less than that this evening. So they check a new, what appeared to be more agile mobile quarterback than Hoover. Hoover's a bigger, what looks to be a pocket passer. And so credit to Lifeway on the call, but credit to Ravenwood for recognizing the difference in the lineup and calling a quick timeout. So we're going with the same set and the same lineup here. Dorian Fleming in quarterback and Drayshawn Taylor tailback in shotgun. Same play, same result, touchdown Eagles. So Dorian Fleming in spot duty, 1 carry, 2 yards, and a touchdown. It's going to bring our score 21-14 before the conversion attempt here.
Yeah. Dorian Fleming on the paper, quarterback / D lineman, right? I think you talked about it. Just a interesting call here. Obviously, you talked about the kicking.
So they're going to go for 2 here. Fleming in the backfield. The 3rd play in a row, they run a direct snap, and he's going to be stopped short.
2-point try is no good.
So with the conversion no good, we have a score 21 Raptors, 14 Eagles.
14.
Life Christian, same play 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Direct snap to the quarterback, Fleming, who also, every time I look at this list, I'm having a hard time finding someone under 6 foot and 200 pounds.
Fleming right there on the keeper with the score. They tried it again on the 2-point conversion, no good. And now the kicker, one of our favorite kickers so far that we've seen on our games of the week, number 23.
Kicker / fullback.
Markel Dabney.
And so our roster has Dabney coming in at what looks to be 200 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and say he's tipping that a little bit in favor of the heavier side. If we were to have the over-under, I'd probably put him at about 240.
And a big fan of showing the, got the jersey rolled up.
He's got what appears to be a medium-sized jersey.
Now look at that. Wait just a minute. How about that?
He just kicked it to the 1-yard line, showing the leg strength for the big fella.
And a great coverage on the play by.
So this, what might be the worst starting position on a kickoff all night, Ravenwood will take over at about the 15-yard line. So the big fullback, who has his midsection showing, kicks it to the 1-yard line.
You know you're tough if you can do it. You pull that off. Pull that look off.
I would not be tough in that regard.
You cannot pull it off.
No. So Ravenwood, as it has been all night, directly on the ball. So there's the
there he is.
The first half MVP Carter Pace, who that time only gets about 2. So despite the penalties and the mental mistakes, Life Christian's able to go down the field and score a touchdown. And it makes the game a very close all of a sudden, 21-14. Ravenwood lines up in the option. Pace is the recipient of the option, but is run out of bounds for what may be a loss of a yard.
That, we've seen that play multiple times during the game, and that time the Eagles of Life Christian really stretched it out and just ran out of room.
Sometimes you have to look at the field, too. He runs it from the far hash to the shorter side of the field, and you'd have to think if you're going to run an option play, maybe you use the wide side of the field to have some more room. And so he gets cut short on the play and loses a yard. So Parson tries to get him offside with the hard count. Life Christian says, not this time. Parson has the snap, looks to his left, rolls out, has his receiver incomplete. So huge stop there for Life Christian. It's going to be 4th and about 9. And I'm going to say that the Riverboat Gambler, Hester, is not going to roll the dice at 4th and 9 on his own, what looks to be 19, 20-yard line, 21. So this is going to be a punt. I'm going to take a wild guess and say this will be angled to go out of bounds. So the punter has his heels on the 1, gets away a good kick, angled out of bounds, bounces out of bounds, and loses about what could have been potentially 15 extra yards.
At the 48-yard line, 1st and 10, Eagles.
So the net gain on that punt about 30 yards. Places the Eagles on very good field position here. They'll take over on their own 48-yard line. And so the Raptors defense here, Paul, not a long break there after what was a long drive down the field by the Eagles.
Quickly 3 and out, and Shane Hoover has.
So there goes Turner on the carry, and he is getting hot.
Well, Turner already over about the 115-yard mark for the game.
We'll add about another 15 to that.
First down, Eagles.
Eagles taking a play out of Hester's playbook. Hoover right on the ball. Hoover fakes it, pulls it back.
Uh-oh, that's a
problem. That's
problem.
going to be a horse collar. Add 15 yards to the end of that run, and Hoover is starting to get a little confidence there.
And I think they're feeding off the quarterback, the backup that came in, Shane Hoover. I mean, he's brought a little spark to him a little bit.
Well, and I'll say it's rare to have 2 quarterbacks that look as polished. We've mentioned already that Hoover looks like he can play the quarterback role. He's got the size, he's got the arm, looks like he has the smarts, and there he showed that he's got the feet as well as he runs out, and a very un-Raptor-like play there with a horse collar tackle. So the Raptors are in danger here. Their heels on the 21-yard line. Turner again gets it.
Turner with the run.
And he's going to get about 5 or 6 on the first down carry. All right, man, make it closer to 4 on the spot.
Well, Life Christian, I mean, Doug, they're just starting to run downhill. I mean, the momentum straight off the snap is huge.
Well, and I think they decided, you know what, we're not going to play cute. We're going to play to win, and what we do is we run the football. And that is exactly what they've done. They have the size advantage, and we talked in the first quarter, would that be an issue as the game went on later? Would the size matter? Would the big line get tired, or would they tire out the opposing defense? And right now it looks like they're tiring out the Raptor defense.
Yeah. Well, you talked about the short offensive series for Ravenwood. Had to come immediately right back out to play defense. And that's, that just takes a toll on you, man. When you're getting banged around by like 330-pound guy over and over again. I mean,
well, and on this drive in particular, they have not benefited from a false start or
that's right.
another mental cue that's
right.
So Life Christian is starting to put it together, and that could be scary for the Raptors defense here. Hoover in shotgun, 3rd and very short. Takes the snap, fumble.
Oh, wow.
So big.
Man, what did you do?
As my wife, she actually sent me a text at half and said, you're right, you speak things into existence. And so on cue again, mental mistakes. Eagles recover their own fumble, but there's also a flag on the field.
From 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6.
I feel like at this point, Ravenwood should probably send me a gift card or something at this point.
Third down.
So here we go. Eagles. You have the big fella, 8. Taylor
oh,
in the backfield.
Man. 2 in a row.
Wow. Sometimes you'll see one play or you'll see an error off a timeout, and you're thinking, how do you jump off sides or a false start after a timeout? But rarely do you see a penalty and then a penalty, right?
Absolutely.
But, I think the Eagles are trying to check every penalty box they can this evening. And so you went from 3rd and about 2,
Yeah.
or 3rd and 1, to 3rd and 12. So Hoover has him rallied, takes the snap, bobbles the snap just a bit, scrambles up in the middle, and he is not going to have the same room that French would have had. He's just not the polished runner that French was in the first half. And so Hoover's taken down after about a yard.
It is 4th down.
So
Down 4th quarter.
everybody's got their 4s up here, including the broadcast team of Doug Capella and Paul Breece. It is the 4th quarter.
14.
Raptors holding on to a 21-14 lead. Life Christian, though, has somewhat tilted the field, you'd have to think. Aside from the numerous mental mistakes, I can't believe, Coach, they had it 3rd and 1, or 3rd and 1.5, with all of the momentum in the world, driving down the field to 3rd and 12, and now 4th and 11.
Walker Chevrolet.
I mean, it's beyond me, and now you don't have a kicking game, right? Kick a field goal and then play defense.
Well, I don't know, the kicker might. I mean, he launched it on kickoff, but can he kick it between the uprights? That's a different story.
I immediately saw the coaching staff for Life Christian Joe. Here we go. Let's play. You know, Ravenwood, this is not their first time to play somebody from out of state. They've also played, I believe they have played in IMG Academy, one of their teams. They've also played Pulaski Academy out of Arkansas, the team that always goes for it on 4th down. You know, known throughout America as a high school, you know, the coach says, I'm not punting, statistically says, we've got a better shot at making a 1st down than.
Well, so here we go. Hoover going to line up in the shotgun, 4th and 11 on a crucial 4th down play here for Life Christian. Takes the snap. He's looking, and he's going to be sacked. And a flag on the play.
Oh, my.
Coach, I got to tell you, not being a homer here, but I don't know what the call's going to be there. It looked like he grabbed him by his jersey and just took him down.
It definitely wasn't the face mask. I'd be shocked if that's what they're calling. Hoover definitely ducked to avoid the contact, and they just pulled him down.
So the officials are.
They are going to call face mask. Wow.
Well,
here's the thing. Obviously, we can't see it. Both officials threw a flag, so there must have been something.
Right. The back of both players were to us, and so to the officials' credit, 2 of them on the field, they both throw the flag, and so to me, 4 eyes are better than 2. Killer penalty there for the Raptors defense.
Wait a minute. It may have been not the personal foul type.
Incidental, although it still moved them up about 10 yards. So it's 4th and what looks to be 4. The officials are conferencing again.
Yeah, I mean, if I was the coaching staff, I would be like, would you call that as a personal foul or not?
Well, they've broke the huddle there, the officials, and they're going with it. So we got 4th and about a long 3, call it 3.5. What play is Life Christian going to run? Will it be a false start, a run off the guard, or let's see what we got. They got the big fella in the backfield.
You're going to have to throw it. Oh, my goodness. No whistle.
No whistle, and Hoover is in serious trouble here, and he is going to be sacked for about a 20-yard loss. Coach, it looked like the line moved. There's going to be a false start. Hoover threw his hands in the air. The ball was snapped, and the officials let it play on.
And credit Hoover for trying to just escape, because he knows even if he throws it away, it's still Ravenwood's ball. He was just trying to create some kind of space where he could throw it up. And we see the preemptive snap. Everybody's looking. We're very close here. And it looks like it was legal.
Yeah.
And look, Hoover, once he turned around, he was like, oh, can't go there.
Well, and again, just from not playing, Hoover, if he throws that away, the Raptors lose about 20 yards of field position here. So they had the benefit of the long loss of yardage to put him at almost the 35-yard line. Quick throw that's almost intercepted. And so when film study comes around on Saturday and Sunday for Life Christian, Coach, they may want to just take this tape, throw it in a trash can, break a chicken bone over it, and set it on fire. They're not going to like what they see watching this film because, especially if they go on to lose, it is going to be would've, could've, should've the entire night.
Yep.
Here we go, Ravenwood. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete. Got a wide open receiver there. Tackled immediately, but after a first down.
Tremendous job by Parson, the quarterback. Stretch it out. Got the guy underneath, was covered. So he went to the next level and found him. And, man, a great way to move the chains. Ravenwood's going to keep that clock running, which is definitely the key right now.
So Parson, and to Ravenwood's credit, has not been one-dimensional by any means this evening. They've run the ball effectively. They've thrown the ball when they've needed to. Here we have a handoff up the middle. Gain of about 7.
Yeah, that's going to be Chapman.
So Chapman, whose name has not been called a lot this evening due to the effectiveness of Carter Pace. But Chapman says, hold on, I can run the ball a little bit. Gets a solid gain of 7. So the Raptors, again, back on the ball immediately. Shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 on the right. Goes with the hard count, and Life Christian does not jump.
Oh, very good.
So we have still in the shotgun. The ball is yet to be snapped. It looks like Life Christian's bumping up to play man, but it doesn't matter because it's a run. And so 3rd and about 1.5 for the Ravens here.
We'll call them Raptors.
Raptors, rather.
You probably have Lamar Jackson on your fantasy team.
Well, I don't, but.
You don't need any of the running backs. They're not playing.
Well, it's a who's who back there, I think. Here we have motion right to left again. Coach.
Lesson learned.
Tries to draw him off sides, and Life Christian says, that was last quarter. We're going to, new quarter here. So Parsons on the keeper, fights for it. I don't think he got it, Coach. I don't think, well, depending on the spot here, it's going to be 4th down. It looked where the official was standing at first that Christmas came early for the Raptors, but it looked initially that he was going to be short about a yard. And so the Riverboat Gambler here.
Well, here's what I'm calling.
I'm calling a hard count and
timeout.
a punt.
Hard count, timeout, punt.
You got that right. And, you know, Life Christian has to know that that's what's going to happen. But their track record this evening has not been good.
There's nobody, well, I was just saying.
Yeah, I would think that if they jumped off sides there, Life Christian may have just loaded the buses and decided we're done. We're going to go home. We're going to go home.
Raptors timeout.
And so does anything change here after the timeout by the Raptors? You know, I wouldn't put it past Coach Hester to even run a hard count on the punt or
Raptor fans, if you're looking to buy or sell real estate in Middle Tennessee,
you just have to think Life Christian has been so undisciplined this evening with penalties that he could line right back up here in punt formation and clap a couple times in the back there and potentially have a kid jump.
The problem is, you know, he's down to 1 timeout, and if something happens that the game gets really close as we wind down, he's going to really need to keep that timeout in his pocket.
Well, and again, as we said earlier, the field position has come into play here, and so if he punts this off, although Parsons is coming back on the field, which tells us that they are going to go for it here on 4th and short, or I don't know that this would be to Ravenwood's credit, try to go again. And here they go. Parsons snaps it. He's in the option, makes the pitch. That's going to be a first down and then some. The running back there, number 20, Cartua Chapman, says, I got this. So he takes the option there, and Parsons smartly pitches it because he was going to be tackled.
Tremendous job by Parsons.
Great containment there by number 1 on the Eagles. Caleb Spencer almost makes a play there.
Oh, he's got, yeah, I was going to say, Parsons, what a throw. A Division I-esque throw right there on the run. So, you know, just the momentum shift right there by converting the first down. If you score it, you go up by 2.
Well, you're right there. When it's 4th and 1 and they call a timeout, and so the defense is thinking, good, they're going to punt, and then they line up and go for it and they convert. The defense mentally, it's a shift of momentum, as you mentioned, because now they're going to have to play longer on the field, and precious minutes are coming off the clock. However, with the Raptors lining up and throwing the ball, every incomplete stops the clock. And so what feels like an eternity in the fourth quarter has only been about 3 minutes, as we have 9 minutes and 10 seconds left to play. So Parsons in the shotgun. Pace in motion, lines up next to him. Inside shovel, and there is room to move here. Breaks a tackle. Brendan Dickinson. They definitely like what they see there on the inside shovel, because I believe that's the 4th or 5th time they've run that play this evening and have had varying degrees of success with it. So now we're down to a first down and goal. They cannot get another first down here.
But they get a free 5 yards.
They may want to change their uniforms to something of the 76 Raiders, because they have committed tremendous amounts of penalties this evening.
The Oakland Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders. Not to be confused with the Las Vegas Raiders. No, that's right.
Not a lot.
So John Madden would be proud this evening of this Eagles group. So Parsons fakes the pitch inside, jumps, Supermans into the end zone, and for the second time his helmet comes off. He may want to get a new chin strap, I believe.
Yep.
With 8.5 minutes left, the Raptors take a strong 2-touchdown lead. However, I would caution those who would say this game is over, because the Eagles have quick strike ability, and you never know what could happen. However, that quick strike potentially would be negated by a false start, Coach. So the kick is up and good, and officially the Raptors have a 2-touchdown lead over the visiting Eagles.
Your score, Ravenwood 28, Eagles.
Well, you know this Raptors right here. We're going to see a 3-option action right here. We're going to see the speed handoff fake, and then the belly handoff, and Parsons is going to keep it, and it's just athletic ability.
Well, and he had faked out that whole side of the defense to where, when you look at the replay, the defenders actually stopped running on the play, because they saw the foregone conclusion of what was going to be a touchdown, as Parsons does his best Superman impression into the end zone, diving in. And so, as I mentioned here, Paul, we have 8.5 minutes, which is a long time.
Yep.
And the Eagles have all 3 of their timeouts. And so conventional wisdom here says we're not going to kick this deep. It'd be interesting to see if he goes ahead and just kicks it out of bounds this time. But it doesn't look like he's lined up to do that.
Yeah, 10 of them are inside the 20-yard line,
So it's more of the same, as the ball will roll back to the deep return man,
yeah, clean pickup,
who definitely has wheels. But he's tracked down in their worst field position of the night, the 38-yard line on a kickoff. But as we talked about, the Eagles have some wheels on that side of the ball, and definitely have the ability to quick strike. It's just the mental mistakes tonight have plagued both sides of the ball for the Eagles. Looks like we have the cheering section potentially doing some push-ups for points scored somewhere out there. Or actually, it's the cheerleaders tumbling.
Turner.
So there we have Turner turning the legs for about a gain of 15. And so I'm going to guess they're going to go right on the ball here and line up.
And that's probably one of his biggest gains of the night.
He's going to fool around with probably about 200 yards tonight before it's all said and done. I believe he's close to 160 already. There's the snap. Turner gets it again, and that was doomed from the start, as it looked like he may have slipped in the backfield, and then he slipped right into 3 Ravenwood defenders.
Run stopped in the backfield by Carter Miller.
Carter Miller, number 50,
It is
coming
second
through,
down.
making some noise.
So you got second and about 12 here. 7.5 minutes to go in the fourth. Not a huge rush here by the Eagles offense. Hoover in shotgun, false start on the left tackle. It may not be worth mentioning at this point as far as penalties go, because I think that horse is long been dead as far as us mentioning it in the broadcast. So what was second and 12 off of a stopped run is now second and about 16 and a half. Hoover in shotgun. Turner in the backfield along with the big fullback Dabney. Quick pass out into the flat there. Number 2 gains about 10, maybe 9 yards.
Tackle made by Parker Corley.
So
It is third.
number 2 there, Jordan Cotman on the catch. So we got 3rd and 9. 4 down territory here.
Third.
So
Down.
Life Christian has to look at it as they have 2 plays here to get a first down. Dabney, the fullback, lined up in the back. I'm going to say he's for blocking here, Coach.
Yeah, I think so.
So Hoover takes the snap. It's a quick pass, so quick that neither receiver was looking for it.
No.
Pass is incomplete.
Well, you're down by 2 scores, Doug. It's evident that they're going to go for it. And this is where the game will probably be won or lost, right? Or not, well, possibly decided. Let's just say.
Well, and you said they come in with a 3-1 record. And based off of sheer ability, I can't say they're very used to playing from behind, especially with a 2-touchdown deficit this late in the game. And so this is to see how they will respond in this
With their
environment.
backup quarterback.
Correct, with their backup quarterback. So they got 3 wide receivers, single back in the backfield. Hoover's going for it all and not close. Overthrows the only receiver in the vicinity by about 8 yards.
Down. First and 10.
And that had the look of desperation on it, but probably maybe not needing desperation at this point. There's still a lot of fourth quarter left here.
They provide a vast collection of
So again, it goes to the earlier statement. How many times have they been in this situation, down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter?
Not, I would say 0 this year.
So Parson takes the snap, reliable pace on the carry, and we're probably going to see a lot of that. Maybe not with pace, maybe a mixture of backs, but pace, well, I'm not going to say it because it would probably happen at this point.
Talk into existence, right? Is that
Correct.
Is that it?
That's right, speaking it into
Speaking
existence.
into-
So they're going with Pace here, who's been very reliable this Friday night. So the Eagles do not get fooled by the hard count this time by Parsons.
Talk about Ravenwood slowing down.
Yeah. Pace again gets the handoff, finds some room outside. There's going to be a flag, and that is going to be likely in the area of a hold. And there you have the official call from the Referee, the flag came in, and we have a hold. But any play that's not an incomplete pass here is a success for the Raptors because they're taking precious time off of the clock. So we have a second and what looks to be 13 here for the Raptors. And so, Paul, if you're the Ravenwood coaching staff, you have to feel pretty good about how this night has gone, right? Because the
it could have
Eagles,
gone one of two ways, right?
Yes. So they get off in what is very similar to the University of Alabama uniforms
and size.
And look very similar to the University of Alabama. So there's Parsons, finds some space, has some room. He's still on his feet at the 15, the 10, the 5. Leaning.
Put it in the
That is a
books.
touchdown. Woo! Absolutely amazing run by Parsons. And the helmet, he's 3 for 3. The helmet comes off again. And the Life Christian sideline is stunned on a run that Coach Parsons may have broke 15 tackles on that one run. And makes an incredible stretch on the goal line. Just body awareness is what we're going to go with on that play.
I love it.
Body awareness on the end zone to reach back behind himself and score. And so what we were saying is Alabama looking Life Christian gets off the bus, and you're thinking, wow, who put this game on the schedule, right? And so this has gone from what was close for a little while to a blowout here in the fourth quarter as the Raptors are up 34-14, waiting on the extra point attempt here. And so the Ravenwood staff has to come away with, we feel pretty good. And Life Christian probably has more questions than answers at this point.
And I think they're going to have to, unfortunately, regroup with a new quarterback because the way French, the starting quarterback, looked coming out of the game, I'm not sure if you say what his availability would be next week. Possibly a long-term situation. But, man, oh, man, let's talk about the Chris Parsons touchdown run.
Your score, Ravenwood 35.
What an individual effort right here on the replay. You know, we're here at the 43, and it's just one miss, two miss, 3, 4. Now you got to think Lee Millette. I'm going to lay this guy right here, block, total whiff. I'm going to miss 5.
There's 5. He's still in, stays in bounds.
I'm going to try to outbeat this guy. 6, 7 arm, 8, twisted turn, 9, and the lean.
So I was off by 6 broken tackles, but 9 on one play.
Listen,
it's a good night.
It was a good night. Parsons, you, my friend, may be the WCTV play of the week right there.
Well, and the Eagles defense and coaching staff was probably cued into my headset when I said they're going to see a steady dose of reliable pace, right? And so on that play, Parsons fakes the pace, keeps it, runs around the corner, and runs to daylight. And Pace should come to the sidelines and say, hey, you're welcome. They were queuing on me. And so what, for a moment, was an achievable, what we would say hill about 3 minutes ago is now more of a unachievable mountain for Life Christian.
100%.
That kick had the most air on it of the night. Number 1, fields it, has a little room, shows the wheels.
Man, that was backyard football, just scooping it up and making something happen right there.
Well, the returners for Life Christian have had to put on their infielding gloves this evening because there has not been one kick off of the ground. And so clearly the Ravenwood staff has been watching film on Life Christian, who may or may not have had several special teams touchdowns up to this point.
Yeah, I would think there was something that Coach Hester and the staff saw that was like, okay.
Yeah, let's let's not give anything easy this evening. We'll give them field position and we'll play defense, and they've done that fairly well. So Hoover in shotgun, 4 wide, 3 to the right, 1 to the left, drops the ball, goes to the inside screen route there, the flat pass.
Whoa!
You know, one thing we talked about during halftime is if this game continued in that direction of getting out of hand based on penalties and those things that are frustrating, would tempers flare in the fourth quarter. And so what we just saw was just that. Saw a sideline scuffle that was quickly, thank goodness, broken up by players and coaching staff of the Ravenwood sideline. That's not what you want to see at the end of a game, right? A game that's more than likely won.
And you're exactly right. And I think Life Christian's in a situation they haven't ever been in, right? That down 21.
Well,
and they don't like it.
Well, and how they're losing, right? You have the numerous mental mistakes. You have the hurt quarterback. You had the anticipation of we're going to come in and do this our way, and that just simply hasn't happened.
Holding against the Eagles. Personal foul.
So double penalty here by the Life Christian Eagles. The hold and then the personal foul afterwards. So a 1st and 10 is going to end up maybe a
first and a country mile.
Yeah. I was going to say at least 1st and 25, maybe depending on the spot where the foul was.
Well, and the Ravenwood cheering section has definitely keyed in on the fact that this was going to potentially be a blowout the other way. And so as the game progressed and was in hand, you started hearing the chants of overrated.
Yeah. You know what? I think Ravenwood may be just a really, really good football team.
Well, and that's always the case, right? I mean, Ravenwood is always going to have a solid football team, well coached, well disciplined. But sometimes, even when you're well coached and well disciplined, when the other team has a lot more horses than you, that doesn't matter. And so here we have another penalty behind the line, well after the play, and it appears that Life Christian is losing their cool just a little bit.
Slightly.
And maybe at this point, if you're Life Christian, you call a timeout. You get your players in and you say, guys, there's such a thing as losing with dignity, right?
You know,
let's play again next week.
Right. I don't know. The Virginia governing body, if someone gets tossed out in a game like this, how does it play effect into, their next game? So I don't know if the standards there are a little bit different, but I know this: if a Raptor gets ejected, then I believe it's a one game. So they definitely need to, because they have the Battle of the Woods next week.
So they're going to want to have everybody
full strength.
Full strength. So again, a quick pass out to the slot receiver there, 14. It's tackled down. Deontay Hill on the catch.
Well, I think the referees are trying to wind this clock as fast as they can. No stoppage of play if not necessary.
Well, and Deontay Hill gets up now limping. And you had to hear from especially there's a young man from Life Christian that we got to talk to before the broadcast, and he was spoke in high regard of a lot of the players and their abilities.
I mean, listen, they look the part.
Absolutely, and for the most part, they are the part. They have the athletic ability for sure. Hoover in the shotgun, quick pressure from the middle, scanning the field, bumped out of bounds at about the 32-yard line, which is going to put a not really manageable 4th and about 30.
We've yet to see them punt, right, if I'm correct?
They have not. That is a good call there, good observation. They have not punted up to this point, and I doubt they are going to punt it right now.
Obviously, if Life Christian does not convert, I think we may have seen the last of Chris Parson, the quarterback for Ravenwood, and maybe some other starters as well. As I think you talked about, Coach Hester sees the big picture, right? Let's just get out of here unscathed.
Right. So for a play this long, you're going to have to go back to what's now going to be longer due to a delay of game call. So Freddie Mitchell out of UCLA played for the Philadelphia Eagles with Donovan McNabb at quarterback.
Sure.
And fast Freddie Mitchell did not have the career some thought he would, like Andy Reid, but he did convert a very long fourth down play in the playoffs, to which the Eagles went on and won. I believe it was 4th and 24 maybe, but the Eagles unfortunately are a little bit more than 4th and 24 here. Looks to be about 4th and 34. So they are in a, if this was a cover one, this one safety is about 40 yards deep. So
well, they're punting.
Here
we go.
Oh, here we are. They are punting.
Wow.
Well,
did you see him catch that snap?
Hand.
That is awesome.
That is a high punt into the night.
Yeah, end over end.
So actually not a bad punt.
Absolutely.
1st and 10. Ravenwood.
So here we go saying that the Eagles probably don't have a kicker, and the kid comes out and kicks it almost into the end zone. And then we say they haven't punt all night, and they kick a deep end-over-end punt that goes about 40-plus yards in the air to where the Raptors just fall on it. And I'm going to say you would have seen Pace in the backfield, but he's not even on the field right now. Not sure what the holdup is here. Timeout on the Raptors side.
We're missing a lineman.
Timeout on the field.
Well, as we said last week, you can play with 10, you can't play with 12. So Parsons clearly agitated, clapping his hands, and kind of to my surprise, the Eagles didn't jump off sides.
It was an adamant clap like, hey, where's my right guard at? Because I don't see him.
It went center, tight end. Generally not a good formation if you want to play football for a long time. So now the Raptors come out of the timeout. They got their lineman situation ironed out. And so Pace is not in the backfield. You're going to have Cartua Chapman, who's had a couple nice runs this evening. And I'm going to guess that he's going to get the handoff, and he does. Cartua Chapman up the middle, good for about 3.5, maybe 4 on the play.
Run by Cartua Chapman.
But now
2nd down.
we're approaching 2 minutes. The Raptors have this one in the bag. It's currently 35-14. All we can hope for now, Paul, is just a clean end to the game.
Absolutely.
No more injuries. Everybody load up on the bus and get a good night's rest, as this one has been decided.
Yeah, we definitely do not need any more yellow coming out. Let's keep the flags in the pockets.
No, and one thing a good coach will always preach to the kids is win with humility, but also lose with humility on the same token, right? And because you learn a little bit from a win, as Vince Lombardi would say, but you can learn a whole book from a loss. And so these young men are clearly going to go and do good things this season. Very talented team. There's a lot for them to go home and work on. And hopefully one of those things is not losing your cool at the end of a game that's already been decided.
Well, here's the good news. We got college football. But, hey, the Titans. First appearance to see Tannehill, Henry, Julio, Jones.
There you go.
We haven't
Julio.
seen them the whole preseason.
You got the Monday night game with the Ravens and whatever running back they may have that night against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Run by Cartua Chapman.
So Chapman there,
1st down.
a little more of the same, gets the 1st down. Looks like the Eagles have gone with a lighter lineup here and some cleaner jerseys at the end of this one. Getting some of the younger guys in who are still over 6 foot and 200 pounds,
Yeah,
Coach.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, they're going to be able to wind this down, Doug.
They are. They're 1 second under the play clock here.
They may take a knee here just to kicks and giggles.
Hester may want to go ahead and get them off the field. So Parsons does just that, takes a kneel, and that is going to expire the game clock. And it's good to see, Coach, you may not be able to see this, but the players on both sides met, shook hands, some of them did. The end of the game, they're lining up, and it looks like we got some sportsmanship going, which is what you'd always hope for at the end of the game.
Well, Doug, another one in the books for our WCTV Game of the Week as the Ravenwood Raptors with a 35-14 win over Lifeway Christian Academy for Paul Breece and Doug Capella and the crew down below and up top here. We thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week on our WCTV Game of the Week.
And have a good night and a good weekend.